Hey, we'll see you August 4th in Burbank, California, and August 7th in Chicago at Thalia Hall. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all of our live show tickets. Right now, guess what MSNBC's doing? MSNBC's big idea report, Nicole Wallace is in discussions about a new show on Peacock. MSNBC President Rashida Jones tries to figure out how to capture younger viewers. And their idea to capture younger viewers is Nicole Wallace, the former spokesperson for torturers and warmongers who is now middle-aged. She's 49 years old. That's how you're going to capture the younger viewers. Bring out a right-wing Republican pro-Iraq war torturer spokesperson and see how the kids flock. This is American liberalism right here in its purest expression. One of MSNBC's most popular hosts, a former Bush Cheney spokesperson, devotes a whole segment to defending NSA and lamenting distrust in it. She brings on two ex-FBI officials who now work for MSNBC to do it. I'm going to show you that in a second. The political faction that is pro-FBI, pro-NSA, and pro-CIA, and whose media is delivered to them by a mix of security state officials, ex-Bush Cheney operatives, and neocons, is American liberalism. Just watch that clip to see the authoritarianism of this movement. So here's the clip. Watch. This is pretty stunning. Watch this. This is the person that's going to bring in the young people.
Last week, Tucker Carlson of Fox News told his audience that he heard from a whistleblower at the NSA that they were monitoring his communications in an attempt to take his show off the air. It's a claim that resulted in a rare and forceful public denial from the NSA, stating this, quote, Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency, and the NSA has never had any plans to try and take his program off the air.
Okay, so that's not a denial. That's not a denial. They're saying he's never been a target. That doesn't mean they didn't read his emails. Maybe someone else is the target, and they're reading his emails because he's talking to the target. That's not a denial. Nicole Wallace knows that's not a denial, and she does this in a dishonest way. Watch, it gets way worse.
But thanks to some stunning new reporting from Axios overnight, we're learning a bit more about the situation. Jonathan Swan is reporting that Carlson was reaching out to U.S.-based Kremlin intermediaries in an attempt to set up an interview with Russian President Vladimir Putin, shortly before Carlson announced his accusation on the air. Sources told Axios that U.S. government officials learned of Carlson's efforts to secure the interview, and Carlson subsequently became aware of the government's knowledge of his outreach. Carlson responded to Axios in a statement, quote, as I've said repeatedly because it's true, the NSA read my emails and then leaked their contents. That's an outrage, as well as illegal. To be clear, Axios has not confirmed whether any communications from Carlson have been intercepted, and it remains unclear why Carlson seems to believe his outreach to Russian intermediaries could have been the basis for NSA surveillance. While many questions still remain, what is clear is that Carlson's dangerous accusations have added to a growing chorus of distrust in our country's intelligence agencies, all started during the presidential transition by the disgraced ex-president. Joining our conversation, Frank Figliuzzi, former assistant director for counterintelligence at the FBI, now the host of the Bureau podcast, and an MSNBC national security analyst, and Andrew Weissman, former FBI general counsel, a former senior member of the Mueller investigation, now an NYU law professor, and lucky for us, MSNBC legal analyst.
So Tucker Carlson is making a charge against the intelligence agencies that they're spying on him. And who do they bring in to tell you the truth? They bring on two people from the spy agencies. They're going to tell you the truth. What? You're not supposed to bring on people from the FBI and the NSA and the CIA to tell you the truth. You're supposed to bring people on who debunk people from the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA. That's what you're supposed to do.
Frank Figliuzzi, talk about who the NSA listens to, and say if I wanted to interview, I don't know, if I had wanted to interview Ahmadinejad or Vladimir Putin myself, what would that sort of expose me to in terms of anyone potentially hearing those efforts?
Yeah, the NSA is perhaps the most secretive agency in our government. They have a mission that is squarely targeted against foreign threats, and their job is to capture communication from individuals designated as of interest in terms of national security. It's in the nation's security to collect those communications against those foreign targeted individuals, their phone numbers, and their emails. It includes terrorist organizations and known emails and phone numbers and other electronic addresses for those targets. Obviously, if someone trips into that electronic coverage because they're communicating with a foreign target, they will trip into that intercept. But here's how it works if it's believed, even believed that that person is a U.S. person, a U.S. individual, and their information would be masked. In this case, it might say suspected U.S. person or suspected phone number, suspected American journalist, and that would be the end of it. I am not convinced at all that this whistleblower actually exists. In other words, what better way for Tucker Carlson to cover his rear end because he's called a Russian intelligence officer or intermediary for the Kremlin. He gets worried about it. He decides, I'm going to go on the offensive. I'm going to announce that the NSA is listening to me and have them try and deny it. And so I think it's good cover. But as you said, there's something much larger going on here. It is another page in the playbook of folks like Tucker Carlson and folks in the GOP who simply want to continue to erode the public's trust in their institutions. And if you keep doing that enough, the objective is you can't trust your institutions and the career professionals in them. The only people you can trust are us, right? And you get to reshape the truth into your own version of reality. That's what's going on here.
Huh. Turns out you can't trust news people, but you can't trust the FBI, the NSA, and the CIA. You should not want to. You mean the people who lie us into every war and are now unconstitutionally spying on every American? Those are the people we should be trusting. According to MSNBC torturer spokesperson Nicole Wallace and this FBI guy, Glenn Greenwald says if having your newsroom filled with ex-security, state operatives, FBI agents, CIA officials, and generals, all of whom are paid employees to reflexively defend the FBI, CIA, and the NSA, if that isn't state TV, what is? I agree. That's MSNBC is state media. And here's from Pew Research Center. Turns out the Republicans now are more skeptical of the intelligence agencies than Democrats. Democrats love it. Almost 80% of Democrats love the FBI. Love the FBI. Almost 70% love the IRS. Almost 66% love the EPA, and almost 69% love the CIA. Almost 70%. 7 out of 10 Democrats love the CIA. And Republicans lower. All those numbers are lower. So they're more skeptical now. So if anything that's come of this Russiagate is that finally the conservatives and the Republicans are now skeptical of the intelligence agencies. That's good. That's a good thing. So tip of the hat to them. And of course, the Democrats are lagging way behind. Very relatedly, Democrats united with only 3 dissenters, Ilhan Omar, Cory Bush, and Ayanna Pressley, who voted with the GOP to approve a $2 billion increase for the Capitol Police, which is now opening offices in multiple states and becoming its own intelligence agency. You give them $2 billion, that's a lot of money. You can't spend $2 billion. A $2 billion police force for the Capitol? AOC and Jamal Bowman spent a year chanting to fund the police for others, and then enabled a $2 billion in additional funds to be approved for the Capitol Police to turn it into an intelligence agency. So pathetic. To fund the police, unless it protects us, then enlarge it. All I want is a time machine to go back to 2006 and tell liberal luminaries their most beloved pundits will soon be Bush-Cheney Communications Director Nicole Wallace, their speechwriter David Frum, Bill Kristol, Jennifer Rubin, and assorted low-life Rovian operatives like Rick Wilson. Because of Trump, the Democrats embrace all those cretins. They're now regular Democrats, all those people. They're regular Joe Biden voters. And then I'd add, none of them will have changed any of their views or tactics. If you will have changed. Oh, I'm sorry. And then I add, none of them, meaning those cretins from the Bush administration, none of them will have changed any of their views or tactics. It's you who will have changed. Right before jumping back into the time machine, I'd tell them they'll frequently be singing the praises of George W. Bush's character and leadership skills. Then I'd return back to present day. So he would go back to 2006 when everybody hated the Bushes so much that they elected Barack Obama overwhelmingly. And then he said, you guys going to love all these people and you're going to be singing their praises. Watch this.
It means winning for the American people, that either we win or whoever wins understands the priorities of the American people, and they are not what President Bush, excuse me.
President
I'm so sorry,
Trump.
President Bush. I never thought I'd pray for the day that you were president again, but...
You're praying for the day that President Bush is president
yes,
again?
Well, we worked, and so you asked the question, how would I work with a Republican president? The way we worked with President Bush. We got a great deal accomplished.
Yeah, you got a torture program accomplished. You got illegal wars accomplished. You guys drowned New Orleans. You got what? You put voting restrictions. What did you accomplish? That's what they're saying. Dick Cheney and George Bush, they loved him. Loved him. Dick Cheney and George Bush loved him. So this is your MSNBC. This is your Democratic Party now. This is your liberals. This is your liberal class. Congratulations. They're officially to the right of everybody. We have two right-wing parties in America. Two. It's time for a third party. And the third party doesn't have to win. What the third party has to do is poll at around 10%. So now both parties need them to win. So now both parties will become pulled farther to the left because they're going to need them to win. And that's what we need. We don't need another bullshit Justice Democrats bullshit person elected bullshit. We need a third party that polls around 10%, that now the Democrats can't get elected without them and the Republicans can't get elected without them. And now we pull them to our side. That's what you do. And before you do that, you look up the definition of corrupt. Our live shows are back. August 4th, we're in Burbank. August 7th, we're in Chicago. We're going to Portland. We're going to Boston. We're going to everywhere. Go to JimmyDoreComedy.com for a link for tickets.